There's numerous ways drivers can get paid over the road. And we talked about this Monday in the live show, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Those are Monday at 12:30 p.m. Let's talk about the good and bad of each different way, and maybe a better way than the antiquated system that we currently have. Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. I'm Mark, your low-pay host. So in a discussion of pay, we talked about numerous systems. The current way is the antiquated mileage, plus stops, plus delay, plus detention, plus drop and hook, plus, all these other different 10 million different ways that you get paid, none of which are any good. Now, companies love this way of being paid because there's so much time they don't have to pay you for. So, of course, they very much enjoy this and don't want to change that way. And they have many excuses for not wanting to change it, none of which are valid. When you're paid by the mile, you're hosed out of money. It's just as simple as that. It's a system from back in the day. And the day means when drivers that have been driving 80 years, say, back in the day. It may have worked out good then, it doesn't now. You see that 750-mile run and you're paid 712 miles, that's not great. Okay, that isn't right. And the company's excuse is, well, Mark, that's all we get paid for it. That's not my problem. See, that's the thing about being an employee. I don't care. All right, that's your problem for being a bad business person and accepting work that you're going to do more work than you're actually getting paid for. That's not my issue. Same with detention pay. That's a big one, right? Detention. Well, you get paid $20 an hour after what? An hour, after 2 hours, after 4 hours. Some people don't get any detention at all. It's ridiculous. So you sit somewhere, 2 hours seems to be about the average. So if you sat there 3 hours, you'd get how much? It's math time. You'd get $20, right? But that's only $6.66 an hour. That's not the minimum wage. Okay, why do you do it? That's my question. Why do you do it? Companies, what's their excuse for this? Well, that's all we get paid. Or, we're doing you a favor. We don't get any detention. I don't care. Why should I care about that? I don't care. I don't give a crap about it. That's your problem for accepting a load that you have to sit on and the driver doesn't get paid anything. You still need to pay your employees for all the time that they're out. It's the same with all the other things that they do on the road. Well, there's this, and we don't get paid for that, and so you got to sit for this, or sitting all night, or whatever, or over a weekend. That's crazy. That's total craziness. Drivers should just stop doing it. That's as simple as that. I don't want to hear it. Drivers always say, well, that's just the way it is. That's the way it is because you accept it. I cannot tell you the number of people that write to me that do not get paid that way and get paid for all of their time, get paid a great salary, right, and they don't accept that, so you shouldn't either. And companies that give these flim-flam excuses, it's just what they are, excuses. How about hourly? What do you think about being paid by the hour? All right, so every time, whenever you log in, right, you get paid. As soon as you log in, start getting paid. All your time would be paid, $22, $25 an hour plus overtime. $25 an hour for a 70-hour week's $2,000, over $2,000 bucks, $100,000. So think about it like that. Now all the things that companies don't pay you for now because they love you to do it free, like fueling the truck, pre-trips, post-trips, doing your paperwork, all these things that you do free now that ought to be paid, you'd get paid for. Okay? Well, Mark, we don't get paid to fuel the truck. So okay, that's your problem as a company. You know somebody has to fuel the truck, the driver is at work, he's working for you, he needs to be paid for that time. Simple. Getting paid by the hour, you wouldn't speed either, would you? Would you speed? You wouldn't, or you shouldn't. That'd make you safer, right? Would you log all your time legally? Yes. Because what do companies love you to do in mileage? Yard moves. Well, just yard move that. Go ahead and yard move that, driver. Why? Because they don't pay you for it. That way, and drivers like it, right? Because they're not being paid properly, and so they believe that falsifying their logbook allows them to get more miles. That's not a good job. A job that makes you run illegal, do things that are illegal like that, is not a great place to work, no matter where it is. Okay, you shouldn't have to run illegal to make a decent living on the road. Percentage. All right, some drivers get a percentage of the load. I never like that because here we're not being paid for empty miles unless they have a different rate for that. Other things that you do like fueling and all these other things, again, are unpaid. It's all unpaid time, and you really don't know what the load pays. Do they show you the paperwork? Yeah. How do you know that's the right paperwork? Also, what if they take a load that doesn't pay much? All right, you don't get to control that. So let's say they think, all right, we need to relocate our truck to wherever. And so they take a load that pays 80 cents a mile. And if you're on a low percentage or whatever, you might get 15 or 20 cents or whatever, 25 cents a mile on that, because they take a load and you don't get to control that. I don't like it. There's too many ways to flim-flam the system and skimmity-damn it and scaddity-dood and all these other things. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't like it. What about a salary? How about paying drivers a salary? Here's a new idea. There's a few companies doing it right now. What about a salary? So a driver comes in at a certain level of experience, whatever. They go, all right, you start at $1,500 a week. $1,500. All right. And that's just an example, right? It may be different based on your experience. And you'd get that every single week, work or not. Meaning, if they have a policy of 1 day off per 7, and you stay out 4 weeks, you take 4 days off then, right? That would work out, right? That's the time off that they allow that you agree to. You still get your $1,500 for your week off. You stay out 7 weeks, you would take 7 days off, you get $1,500. You get it every week. So therefore, and the companies, what did all companies say? Well, that makes drivers less productive, Mark. They're not going to be as productive. Really? No, what it does is show the inefficiencies and the bad management of a company. That's what that shows. Because you're going to get a load that's 3 days on 1,000 miles, right? That's super common, right? Especially over a weekend. And now they just wouldn't pay you. You just get 3 days on it, and too bad. You might try to get it unloaded early. Sometimes you can, maybe you can't. But either way, they're not going to pay you. But that's their problem. Under a salary plan, you'd still get your $1,500 that week. Okay, that they don't have a better load for you, that isn't you not being productive. That's them not doing their job, not giving that load to somebody tomorrow, okay, and giving you a better load today. That load ought to sit there until the next day when another driver comes in and they get to run that load in 2 days so they can get their 500 plus miles a day. It's a company's issue when you are not being used productively. It isn't your issue. And anymore, right? I don't want to hear this. Well, drivers would just sit around. I hear that for hourly too. Well, drivers should go 40 miles an hour. Really? Is your truck not have all kinds of sensors? They know the throttle position, when you brake, when you sneeze, when you pick your nose. Okay, how fast the truck is going, exactly where you are on a map, everything. When it stops, when the brake's pulled, if the key's on, everything. So I don't want to hear about, oh, well, we have drivers, they'll just go 40. No, because you can look that up. Hey, driver, you're going 40. What are you doing? Okay. And by the way, a driver that does that should be fired because that's gold bricking. I consider that gold bricking. You're stealing. All right. If you're not working, as much as you should, let's say you're just going slow just to get more money, you're stealing. That's not right. If you don't like the job, quit. But don't steal from the company by slowing down or doing these other things to get extra money that you're really not entitled to. You get paid by the hour, go do your job. If the truck goes 65, the speed limit's 65, and it's safe to go 65, you should go 65. Simple as that. But salary, I like salary better because that puts all the pressure on the company. Next would be hourly, of course. But salary puts all the pressure on them. You're going to log in legal, right? Because you don't want to work extra hours, which you shouldn't. Companies should not ask you to do anything off the log or anything else illegal. They shouldn't. So you're going to log legal, and if they don't use you properly, how is that you not being productive? It's them. They don't want to look at that though. They'd have to figure out how to get you to do better. Oh, well, we need to give this driver better loads. We're not giving him any loads. He's sitting around. Yeah, that's your problem, isn't it? I do think hourly would better take care of the parking situation. Because if you're being paid, say, $25 an hour, and you're at a large company, they have 1,000 trucks. Say they have 1,000 trucks every day that take an extra hour to find parking. Right now, what do you get paid for that? Zippo, right? What would you get paid that? $25. That would cost them $25,000 a day for their trucks to find parking. That would very much encourage companies to come together, which is how I think they should do it, all the large companies, and build parking or rent parking spaces around the country. There's some here in Lafayette. There are places that rent parking. I've seen them around town. You can go and they have a monthly rate or whatever to park your truck. I know there's that one by the J in Indianapolis. They're probably all over the country where you can rent a space. Companies would start doing that to save themselves money. You'd solve your own parking issue if you'd stop running around illegal. The parking issue could be solved by drivers not driving illegal, which is driving either over your hours, or for drivers just not driving when they're not being paid. Because all that extra time you're driving around at night, you're not being paid for it. And that shouldn't happen. The only reason it happens is because companies love it. They love it the way it is. Oh, we don't have to pay drivers for this. We don't have to pay them to fuel. We don't have to pay them to do their paperwork. We don't have to pay them to do hardly anything. Or they'll just come in and work for nothing. This is the greatest thing ever. Stop it. Stop it. I like a salary which would go up every year. Say next year it's $1,550 or $1,600. And maybe you have a safety bonus at the end of the year, that kind of thing. But a salary solves all your problems, and you know what you're going to get paid. You don't have to worry if you get a load. What if you don't get a load? Well, it's all right, I get paid. Well, if I get a load, okay, I can still get paid. Either way, hourly does that as well, but you could still lose pay on hourly. If they don't have a load for you, they're going to tell you to just go to bed and get with them the next day. And so that's a way to get you off the clock. That's the thing about hourly, where salary, you're going to get paid, and the company then actually finally has to do its darn job that it refuses to do now and find loads that are good for your time and that keep you moving and keep the truck the most productive that it is now. That's their job, not my job. I don't find loads for the truck. If they don't have anything for me to do, that's their problem, not my problem. I still expect to get paid. People on the road should get paid for all their time away from their house. They should get a salary for that, where they don't have to think, I'm going to sit all weekend and not get paid anything. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, and it should end. So that's my take on pay. Pay me. That's what I say, all right? Pay me a salary. Pay me for all of my time, and that's how it should go in the industry. These excuses of these companies are just that. They can be thrown away just like yesterday's garbage. I just ignore them because they're all lies, and companies should do better, all right? So that's what, that story. Maybe the ATA. Maybe the ATA will do it. I doubt it. All right. Thanks for watching Trucking Answers, and we'll be back soon with another video.